She admired everything, but what pleased her most was the river which ran by the foot of his garden. "Do swans come up here?" she asked. "Yes, I have often seen swans there on the river," he told her, and she smiled. Leita made him a good wife. She was gentle and friendly, busied herself about the house and the garden, polished the bowls, milked the cows, and mended his socks. But as time went by, Mr. Peters began to feel that she was not happy. She seemed restless, wandered much in the garden, and sometimes when he came back from the fields, he would find the house empty, and she would only return after half an hour or so with no explanation of where she had been. On these occasions she was always especially tender, and would put out his slippers to warm and cook his favorite dish for supper. One evening he was returning home alone the river path when he saw Leita in front of him. Down by the water, a swan had sailed up to the verge, and she had her arms round its neck, and the swan's head rested against her cheek. She was weeping, and as he came nearer, he saw that tears were rolling, too, from the swan's eyes. "Leita, what is it?" he asked, very troubled. "This is my sister," she answered. "I can't bear being separated from her." Now he understood that Leita was really a swan from the forest, and this made him very sad, because when a human being marries a bird it always leads to sorrow. "I could use my second wish to give your sister a human shape, so that she could be a companion to you," he suggested. "No, no!" she cried. "I couldn't ask that for her. It is it so hard is it so very hard to be a human being?" asked Mr. Peters sadly. "Very, very hard," she answered. "Don't you love me at all, Leita?" "Yes, I do. I do love you," she said, and there were tears in her eyes again. "But I miss the old life in the forest, the cool grass and the mist rising off the river at sunrise, and the feel of the water sliding over my feathers as my sister and I drift along the stream."